Coming up next on Beavers All Access, OSU put the heat on Arizona State from the very start and finished strong to earn their first win in Sun Devil Stadium in 40 years.
They throw the fade route for Adeniji. Caught! Touchdown Beavers!
Assistant coach Keith Hayward stops by to recap the game and look ahead to Stanford. And we'll show you the ties that bind an OSU student assistant to the Cardinal. Plus, we'll take a moment to honor Oregon State and NBA great Gary Payton, who was recently inducted into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
I didn't expect all this to happen in my life or my career, but I made a great decision to come here. If I had to do it over, I would pick Oregon State once again.
So try to control yourselves, Beaver Nation, as a hard-hitting edition of Beavers All Access is next.
So do you remember what you were doing 40 years ago? Unfortunately, I can remember. I was driving my parents nuts singing Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, the big film that year. That's the last time the Beavers had won in Tempe. They've gotten over that hurdle, and it was part of a great weekend for Oregon State athletics.
Jaquiz Rogers ran for 2 touchdowns. Sean Canfield threw for 2 more scores, and Oregon State beat Arizona State 28-17 on Saturday to pick up their first Pac-10 win of the season and their first road win over the Sun Devils in 40 years. James Rogers and Damola Adeniji each caught a touchdown pass for the Beavers, who had lost 16 straight to the Sun Devils in Tempe. OSU took the crowd out of the game early by jumping out to a 21-3 halftime lead. The Beavers' first touchdown came on a blunder by ASU punter Trevor Hankins, who dropped a snap to set Oregon State up at Arizona State's 18. 3 plays later, Jaquiz Rogers scored from a yard out to put the Beavers ahead 7-0 early in the first quarter. 2 minutes later, Oregon State turned another big special teams play into a touchdown. James Rogers returned a punt 33 yards to the ASU 41, and 2 plays later, his brother Jaquiz Rogers sped 32 yards around left end to give Oregon State a 14-0 lead. After the Sun Devils kicked a field goal to cut OSU's lead to 14-3, the Beavers answered with a 9-play, 77-yard drive capped by a 25-yard scoring strike from Canfield to James Rogers. The Devils opened the second half with a touchdown to trim ASU's deficit to 21-10, but the Beavers held the Sun Devils on the next possession, and they put the game away on a 2-yard pass from Canfield to Adeniji midway through the fourth quarter. Oregon State is now 3-2 overall and 1-1 in Pac-10 play heading into this Saturday's matchup with the red-hot Stanford Cardinal. The game will be nationally televised on FSN, with kickoff scheduled for just after 4 p.m.
I have said many times and with great conviction that the greatest guard in the history of the PCC, the Pac-8, the Pac-10, the AAWU for crying out loud, none other than Oregon State's Gary Payton. The glove returned to the Beaver State for his induction into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
Gary Payton might be the best basketball player in Oregon State history and is arguably one of the Pac-10's best players in the last 40 years. Payton's many collegiate and professional accomplishments include being named to the All-Pac-10 first team 3 times, holding the Pac-10 record for both assists and steals, being named the Pac-10 Player of the Year and Sports Illustrated's Collegiate Player of the Year in 1990. After being picked 2nd overall in the first round of the 1990 NBA draft, Payton was a 9-time NBA All-Star and NBA First-Team Defensive Player, and he's the only point guard in NBA history to be named the Defensive Player of the Year. He is also a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and concluded his career in Miami, where he helped the Heat win the NBA championship in 2006. Payton was inducted into the Oregon State Hall of Fame in 1996, and while he is a lock to be an NBA Hall of Famer in the near future, the state of Oregon chose to commemorate Payton's outstanding achievements as a Beaver during the late 80s with an induction to the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame last Tuesday evening. The night before the event, the Oregon State Athletic Department organized a get-together with Gary Payton, his family, friends, and former OSU teammates and coaches in downtown Portland to honor the Glove.
He's one of our all-time greats, and to have him get inducted, that's a great honor. I mean, you look at this resume and what he did, not only at Oregon State, but also in the NBA. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, he was a big-time star. So, and for us, it's an opportunity to reconnect and get him back here with some of his former teammates and coaches and staff, and just relive those memories a little bit and have a good time.
It means so much to us as a program, to us as Oregon State, and to the state of Oregon. And it's wonderful that we can share it with his family. He's brought his whole family here. It reminds everyone, including my players, of what kind of legacy was here at one point in time. That's the biggest thing, and I think that helps your current players know what it's like to be winners and know they can be winners.
In spite of his many career achievements, Payton was honored by the recognition and grateful for his time at Oregon State.
It's a great honor to be inducted into Oregon's Hall of Fame. I think it's going to top everything that I ever done, basically, in my career. And when I first came here from Oakland, California, I didn't expect all this to happen in my life or my career, but I made a great decision to come here. And now that this has always been my home and my family, all the fans supported me very much. That's why I stayed 4 years at Oregon State, because I felt so comfortable there, and I enjoyed my college career and my college days. I was really sad when it was over, and you know, if I had to do it over, I wouldn't do nothing over. I would pick Oregon State once again.
It was certainly great to see Gary Payton recently down at UNLV when the Beavers beat the Rebels. Gary was there, said he's planning on coming to some more football games, and we look forward to seeing the great Gary Payton back anytime at Oregon State. Among the many intriguing storylines for the Beavers-Stanford game Saturday at Reser Stadium is Jim Harbaugh on one sideline and his son Jay on the other. Jim told me at Pac-10 Media Day that leaving Jay at Mike Riley's doorstep, he knows his son will come back a better man for having spent time with Mike Riley.
While this Saturday's game versus Stanford will be a big one for the Oregon State players and coaching staff, it would be hard to find anyone more anxious than OSU football student assistant Jay Harbaugh. Why? Well, Harbaugh's the son of Stanford head football coach Jim Harbaugh. So how did Jay Harbaugh connect with Coach Riley? And why did he decide to come to Oregon State?
My dad played for Coach Riley in San Diego, and during that time period I got a chance to get to know their family a little bit, and really got to hear from my dad what kind of guy he was, and the staff that he brought in, what kind of people they were. And I remember just thinking that must be a great environment to work in and learn in and be a part of. When I looked at possible college options after playing ball in high school and everything, this is one thing that was offered to me, and I really was excited about it. And just from my previous connection with Coach Riley and knowing a little bit of the staff, I knew that this would be a great place for me to learn and come and try to help out and grow and really work towards what I want to do.
So is it any harder for Jay Harbaugh to focus on the game when his father is the head coach of the opposing team?
It's a little bit weird before the game, just knowing that that's the team I'm preparing for, is the team and program that he's really building and trying to turn around. But between the two whistles, it's the same as any other team. We're trying to get a win.
I don't know about you, but I'll be watching that post-game handshake closely. I always do. But this time around, you know there'll be nothing unfeigned about the exchange between Jay and his father, Jim, at the end of the game.
Trevor Hankins boomed a 69-yard punt in Athens. Last week, he fumbles the snap, and he's tackled at the 17-yard line. Darkins the fullback. Give it to Quiz. Quiz up the middle and in. Touchdown, Beavers. Toss sweep to Jaquiz, running left. Good block by Will Darkins. Quiz has the first down, 25-20. Down the left sideline, 10 to the 5, and Jaquiz is in. Touchdown, Beavers. Turns, play action fake. Quiz picks up some pressure. Down the middle to James. Juggles and makes the catch. Touchdown, Beavers. James Rogers was open and then tantalized everyone for a moment, juggling, and finally pulled it in the back of the end zone. And they throw the fade route for Adeniji. Caught. Touchdown, Beavers.